Homeowners typically have outdoor lights near their garage doors to illuminate their driveways in the dark. Many of my neighbors leave theirs on all night for safety, especially if they park their car outside. Now what if I told you that today's video is about a product that not only replaces your tired, standard outdoor light bulbs with a sleek, modern, multicolor LED light, but also has a hidden neat feature. A 2K security camera is built in to keep watch over your property 24/7. Sound cool? Let's check out this brand new smart home product. Hi everyone, it's Ryan with The Smart House, and today we're going to be taking a first look at the brand new Eufy S100 wall light. This new 2-in-1 combination wall light and camera is launching later this month. Now I was lucky enough to get sent a pair of these cameras to take a look at, so I'd like to thank Eufy Security for sending them over and sponsoring today's video. Just as a side note, this is pre-release hardware and I'm controlling with the beta version of the app, so things might look a little bit different with the production versions. So let's get this unboxed and we can talk about the features of this product. So when we open the box, we'll see that all the electronics are in the light itself. This light has a subtle and modern design in black and white. Also included in the box is the mounting base, screws, anchors, bolts, and USB micro cable, which is needed for the setup. So starting with the light itself, we can see the 2K camera mounted at a slight downward angle. This allows you to mount the light high up on a wall and still get great video. The 2K resolution gives you 2 times the detail of full HD. This gives you more resolution to digitally zoom in on license plates, faces, and dogs that keep pooping in your yard. This camera also has a 160-degree field of view with a resolution of up to 2048 by 1536, presented in a 4:3 ratio, meaning that the image is squeezed in order to allow you to more easily see it on a phone screen. The camera is also equipped with both black and white and color night vision. Black and white night vision will use the 2 built-in IR emitters to provide a crisp view at night. If the camera has enough light in the environment, or if the scene is being illuminated with the lights, the camera can switch to color night vision for enhanced details. You can also set your preferences in the application. Now of course, this being a wall light meant for outdoor use, it's rated for IP65 for water and dust resistance, so it can handle most any weather. It is of course AC mains powered, so you will need to have power at the location where you want to install these. The best place to install would be a location that already has existing outside lights. I replaced my lantern style outside lights on either side of my garage. Now as far as the camera detection goes, it can detect both motion, and using the onboard AI, it can also detect people. This means you can trigger recording and notifications on all movement or just when a person is detected. You can also select to have the lights triggered when a person is detected as well. Now as far as storage goes, it does include 4 GB of onboard storage, which should handle most events for up to 25 days. There is an upcoming firmware update that will allow you to store recorded video on your Homebase 3, if you happen to have one. So you can expand your storage to whatever size drive you have installed or attached to your Homebase. That firmware update is scheduled a month or 2 after the release of the product. Before we leave the camera, you do have the option of rotating the entire unit up to 30 degrees to either side to get the perfect angle on your scene. Now looking at the 2 high-powered lights, they produce a grand total of 1200 lumens of total LED lighting. These lights can be rotated 180 degrees to allow you to customize how the light is output against your house. If you want more direct lighting, to say shine down your driveway up to 30 feet, you can have them set in the forward position. Or if you're looking for more of an ambient light, you can turn them back against your house. I really like having this flexibility, and it gives you an opportunity to customize the look of the light shining against your house. Now these lights have customizable brightness from within the application. Plus they're RGBW, meaning you can select from up to 3 different white color temperatures: warm, bright, and cool white. You can also customize the ambient mode of the lights versus the color when it's triggered. Now one of the coolest features I think is the inclusion of RGB lights. Now these are not as bright as the selectable white lights, but are really nice to customize the look of your house during the holidays, a special occasion, or to support your favorite sports team. We've had ours set to red and gold to celebrate our home team, the Kansas City Chiefs, on their big win over the Eagles to become the 2023 World Champions. Now I mentioned different lighting modes, because you can choose to have your lights come on automatically at sunset and turn off at sunrise. Of course, the lights can be triggered by motion or manually in the application. All 3 of these light modes can be customized with a different color, brightness, or scene. More on that in the app section. Now finally on the light itself, the device is equipped with both a microphone and speaker. This means you can have 2-way audio via the Eufy Security app. The speaker can also be used as a 150 decibel siren, which is one of the louder ones that I've heard on a camera. So now that we've seen most of the features of the wall light, let's look at what it takes to get it installed. Before we can head outside for the installation, we need to connect the light to our home network. So first we open up the rubber door on the back to reveal the micro USB port and the pairing button. Then we're going to connect it to a power supply just to complete the setup process. I use one of my video lights that doubles as a power bank in a pinch. Ensure you see the red light to indicate it's getting power. Then we open up the Eufy Security app and add a new device. We find the wall light on the list, then confirm which house you want to add it to if you have more than one. Next, we scan the QR code from the back and put in our Wi-Fi information. Next, we need to press the pairing button using something like a small SIM remover or paperclip. Then the app will generate a QR code that contains your Wi-Fi information. This will be scanned by the camera itself for it to connect to your Wi-Fi. Once it successfully connects, it will check for firmware updates. Now we're ready to get it installed. So the first thing we need to do for safety is turn the breaker off. So we need to remove the old light, making sure we keep track of all the wires in the box. In my case, I had 2 wires for the load and 2 wires for the neutral, so it can pass power on to my other light. Next, we loosen the terminal screws and insert our wires. Eufy does have letters next to each of the terminals to indicate which wire is which. The ground is the top, neutral is the middle, and line is the bottom. Make sure the wires bend at a 90-degree angle so you don't have issues connecting the light. More on that later. Next, we attach the base to the box. In my case, the first light was aligned perfectly, but the second light, they've installed the box crooked, so mine has a small gap at the bottom. I'll be filling this in with some silicone sealant to keep the bugs out. Once the base is firmly attached, I would take a flat object, like a screwdriver or the back of my cutters, to press the wires in as close to 90 degrees as possible. This is because if the wires are sticking out, it will prevent the light from snapping onto the base. This is what it should look like when it's done. Now take your light and carefully press it onto the base until you hear the popping sound of the snap hooks engaging. This will let you know you can take your hands off the light to install the screws. Finally, we install the 2 small black screws on either side to ensure we have a secure connection. The last step is to flip back on the breaker and test your lights. Now that the camera is installed and connected to our network, let's open up the application and see what our options are for this product. All right, so when we open up the application, you'll see my 2 cameras right here on the main screen. If we click the little number next to the 3 dots, it'll take you into any events that have happened that day. If we tap the 3 dots, we'll go into more options here. So from here, we can manually turn on and off the light, put the camera to sleep, which would actually turn the camera off and you wouldn't receive any notifications or recordings. Or we can click the gear icon and go right into the settings. Now from here we have the option of going into motion detection, and we can change the different aspects of our motion detection or turn it off entirely. You can also set an activity zone for this particular camera, which will create a small boundary. That way it won't set off recording when people walk across your sidewalk. You also won't get notifications outside of this boundary. You can also change the detection sensitivity of the motion detection and turn on or off person detection, which will utilize the onboard AI to tell you if a person is detected. And we can also select whether or not to get notifications about that. You can also turn on notifications and recording for all motion. However, I've got mine disabled because that would just be way too much noise. Now, if you go back to the main menu and click on our light settings, when we're in here, one nice feature is that when you're in the light menu options, any changes that you make here are reflected on the lights outside, so you can easily test the scenes that you've set up. On the first screen here is the manual lighting section. This is where you set up what happens when you press the light button on the application. So I can set the light to one of the 3 LED colors, cold white, bright white, or warm white. You can also change it to a static color or one of the built-in scenes. You can also create your own scene, like I have here for the Chiefs, which will go between red and yellow. Now when you make your own scene, you can choose up to 5 colors to dynamically cycle through. And you can select whether it's going to do a breathe effect or a blink effect. And you can select how much time it takes between color changes. You can also control brightness. This will be the brightness for when you turn on the light from the application. Finally, you can turn the light on and off to test with the button. Now at the bottom, we'll click on the middle option, and that'll take us to the scheduled activation light or ambient light. We can set this up to turn on and off automatically based on sunset and sunrise. If you do turn that feature on, it'll ask you for your current address and lets the app confirm that it's got the right sunset and sunrise time. And then at the bottom here, you can select what scheduled effect you're going to use. So right now I've got mine set to the Chiefs dynamic effect, and I've set the brightness turned up almost all the way. You can also create another schedule if you want to have a time-bound schedule for your lights. Now for the last option in the light settings, we're going to click here on the little person to go into motion activated lights. In this setting, we can select if we wanted to change to a different illumination mode if motion is detected. So I've got mine set to turn on. This way, it will activate a warm white light at full brightness, so when the motion is detected, it will light up the subject and the entire area. You can also tell how long you want this duration to stay on. You can also have it only activate the scene if the camera detects motion or just a person. Note, if you're using the person detection, there might be a slight delay, as the system has to use the onboard AI to determine if a human is present. Finally, if we go back to the main menu, we can adjust our video settings, turn on and off the watermark, and set the status LED on the front of the light. You can also select if the camera switches to automatic night vision or keeps it in color mode. We can also select our streaming quality and our recording quality, which you can either do 2K or 1080p. We have the capability to turn on or off audio recording. We can also adjust the speaker volume and the alert volume when there is an alert triggered. Then we also have notification settings. So this allows us to set what type of notification, whether we get text only or if you wanted to include a thumbnail. So if we go back to the main screen and click on a camera, it'll take us into the camera view, which gives us the option to start recording straight to your phone. We can turn on or off the light here up at the top. It's a little smashed on my screen, but that's just because of the resolution of my phone. We can also take a screen capture of what the camera is seeing right now. If we hold down the button, we can have a two-way conversation with somebody on the other end. Finally, we can set off the siren or turn on or off the sound that we can hear on the phone. You can also enable or disable auto night vision and go back to your event recordings. Now that's it for the application. I hope to see some new features come out soon with the Homebase 3 integration. So let's talk about my overall thoughts and first impressions of these cameras. If you're a homeowner with existing outdoor lighting who wants to add an extra layer of security and upgrade your lighting, then this is a no-brainer. For just $149 US, you get an upgraded RGBW light and a 2K camera with built-in person detection. Also, with the Eufy products being local first and no reoccurring subscription required, it's an easy way to keep an eye on your property. If you have outdoor lighting in other places like over a patio or a pool, it would be an easy way to add cameras there as well. This has the advantage of being able to add a camera without any additional wiring because you're already using the power that's there. Now, if you don't have any outdoor lights to replace, then this probably won't work for you. But not to worry, Eufy is coming out with a solar-powered version very soon. One hiccup might be if you have other lights connected to the same circuit where you're wanting to install these. The issue is that those lights would need to remain on 24/7 for power to be available to the cameras. This is actually a situation that I'm in. My overhang on the front of my house has a light in it on the same circuit. So what I did was replace this light with a smart bulb, and now I can turn it on with motion from one of my cameras or sensors, plus I can change the color to match the front ones. One tip is if you have a switch that you're going to be leaving on all the time and folks keep turning it off, you can download and 3D print one of these light switch covers that I got off Thingiverse. I have a link to the STL file in the description. I use them all over my house to keep people from flipping off the lights. Now I'm really excited to see what the Homebridge 3 integration brings. I've really been looking for the Homebridge integration for my smart lock that should be coming hopefully next month. Now, if you're interested at all in picking up one of these, I of course have links down in the description. I want to thank Eufy Security for sponsoring today's video and letting me get a hold of these products ahead of their release. If you want to check out my other Eufy Security product videos, I have a playlist right here. As always, if you haven't already, you can subscribe to our channel for more great reviews and products by clicking right here. Thank you for making it this far in the video, and I'll see you in the next one.